Hello everyone and welcome to Pondering Thoughts with Nida Jawed, where we are bringing in Sheros who are impacting a lot of lives with us through this series. Now, all the Sheros have a very special story to share with us, and here today I have Attiyah Khan who will be bringing in a very delicate subject and sharing the part of her story that many times goes unheard. She is a small business advocate who really believes in buying local, supporting local, and gifting local, especially advocating for them during the time of quarantine. Now, Attiyah, just briefly tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Assalamu alaikum viewers and Nida.
Walaikum assalam.
So basically I'm Attiyah Khan, short for Atto, stay-at-home mom to two high schoolers now. Just what you said is what I do.
That's what she does, and she does it best. There are a lot of those who will benefit from your story, and that's what we're trying to do, get your voice out to those women, especially right now, because I came across a lady who just became a mom to a special little boy. Mm-hmm. And her confusion and her concern was really heart-wrenching for me. And at that time, I couldn't think of a better person whose story I would like to take and share with them. Those that are in her shoes, those that are going through your shoes. And I know you have a very little special boy too. Right. So introduce us to him.
Well, Shahir is his name. I had a close neighbor friend of mine, and she had a child that was on the spectrum. And so when she used to visit me, our kids used to play. So she would sometimes, say stuff to me like, "Oh Shahir, ye sahi nahi kar raha. Oh Shahir, wo nahi kar raha. Kya ye karta hai? Kya ye wo karta hai?" So stuff like that. And I used to think in my head, wow, why is she judging my child? Or why is she constantly, putting my child under a microscope? Yeah, I started noticing because, she opened that little, window for me to, maybe look at it from that direction. And so when I started looking at it, I asked her then, I know that you have a child that's on the spectrum, could you help me? But once I went through the early intervention and they came in the house and they diagnosed your child, and they do all sort of like play interventions, and they're seeing, and once the initial report came and I saw, oh my gosh, there's a 33% delay, Once we went to the psychologist and we, sat down, we got the formal, it was very, you start grieving for your child. Mashallah, your child is with you, but you grieve for the future that your child might not have. I need to change my way of thinking. In order to help my child, I need to change my way of thinking. I cannot put my child under that so-called, umbrella that हम सारे देसी पेरेंट्स का होता है कि अच्छा ये है आपको सब 6,000 मशवरे दे रहे होते हैं. Some are really good mashwaras, some, of course, because mashallah he's a human, तो उसकी natural pattern भी मिलती है, similarities होती हैं normal लोगों से, तो आप वो pattern भी follow कर रहे होते हैं, but आपको नज़र आता है कि भाई ठीक है, मुझे ये चीज़ भी करनी है. But yeah, I like to tell everybody that I have actually joined the University of Shahir Khan, so I'm every day learning something.
That's my other question with you. Tell me, what are some of the things you absolutely enjoy doing with him?
Well, it's almost like having a partner that doesn't talk back to you, right? So that's fun. Just, having him in the room, there's another spark of energy. It's a very humbling moment because, you clearly understand that I'm dependent on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for my needs. And now Shahir is dependent on me for me to match his needs. So one of the ways that I enjoy being with him is that, I don't like enabling him too much. Okay. I really treat him as I treat my other son. So, there are things just kitchen में बैठ के अभी हम लोगों ने पुदीना तोड़ा था उस दिन. So, अंडा crack करना, चीज़ें बनाना. That's why he's actually taken a love for baking and being next to me. He always knows that he's next to me when I'm cooking.
Right now, earlier you mentioned people. Right? That there are so many people who are giving you advice. Everyone is giving their 2 cents and so on and so forth. And most of the time, there are also those who are putting you in an awkward situation, how you would feel, and they form some sort of a challenge. And I know that there are some encounters and challenges and words that special need parents get to hear. So, do you mind sharing some of those challenges you have encountered?
Yes, alhamdulillah, challenges, I think, I don't blame them, when they say stuff or when they are thinking in a certain way, because I feel that they're not educated in that field. So, some of the things I hear is like, oh, तुमने उसको तुमने अपनी pregnancy में अगर तुम ये चीज़ें खाती तो तुम्हारे बच्चे में ये deficient नहीं होता, या अगर तुम जो हो ये पढ़ती Quranic उसमें supplications में तो तुम्हारा बच्चा इस तरह होता. But again, those are things they sometimes pinch at you, and sometimes you think that, well, it's not in my making, it wasn't in my hold, how she hear. I mean, what's happening in the womb is all Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I mean, so, when he comes with a challenge, I know this much, and I take much, like, मुझे बहुत इससे कंफर्ट मिलता है कि हाँ अल्लाह ताला उन्हीं लोगों को टेस्ट करते हैं जिसको अल्लाह ताला को पता होता है कि वो ख्याल कर सकता है या वो कर सकता है. One person told me, मुझे बहुत अफसोस हुआ आपका बेटा mentally retarded है. And so that was a big blow that day on for me. And I almost had to bite down, on my tears and just kind of like calm myself down and then say, okay, well, actually it's not mental, retardation. It's actually a neurodevelopmental disorder. It's the way he's, hardwired. But, वही बात है. This is an auntie, she's coming from a very close background, maybe, hasn't seen an autistic child in, any part of her family. So
perhaps maybe has a very limited vocabulary.
Yeah, something like that. But, people are very blunt about it. Shahir is, something that he's taught me that, and it actually, मेरा जो rebellious nature है उससे थोड़ा वो जो है ना coincide करता है, तो I feel that he's a gift for me.
Alhamdulillah.
It's because, that I don't have to live a normal life.
You don't have to.
There is no norm.
Who even decided that this is normal?
Exactly. Yeah, इस तरह आपने behave करना.
My normal is different than your normal.
Exactly. So, just having that, pressure taken off you almost sudden, like, okay, I don't have to be, and I don't have to act a certain way. And
we don't have to match society. And there are so many choices. And we just talked about how you've been using different resources to educate yourself. And then at the end, the question is, what is normal? Do we really have to go in the cookie cutting formats of, society, what society is teaching us? If we even talk about those who are not as special, let me just put it that way.
Right.
Right? Each one of us has a different need. We talked about that auntie's vocab.
Right.
That she needed certain words and be careful of using that certain word. But she didn't. She probably, hopefully, didn't mean any of it and used wrong words to convey her message. Now, in a context where she's put in, where she really needs to be speaking English, she might ask for a translator. Someone who cannot walk up these stairs may request an elevator.
Right.
So everyone has different needs. Just because someone is requiring a little more or requiring an adjustment from a society we are so used to does not really, or they should not be labeled. But calling them special is something more, because I believe with that empathetic nature from their surroundings should arise.
Right.
These special people should be the one teaching us how to be more humble, how to be more offering, how to be more grounded.
As parents, we also have special needs. So it's not just the child. हमें भी एक set of needs अब आ गए हैं. Like, now if I was a little optimistic, I'm ज़्यादा optimistic होती हूँ. So, stuff like that अगर पहले मैं ज़्यादा थोड़ी टॉलरेंट थी, अब मैं ज़्यादा टॉलरेंट हो गई हूँ. अगर पहले कम पेशेंस था, अब ज़्यादा पेशेंस आ गया है. तो इस तरह की चीज़ें देखना, और it actually benefits. I think I actually take Shahir, okay fine, he has a set of challenges, but just like कोई भी बेबी आपके घर में आता है, एक प्योर सोल होता है वो. तो उसकी purity intact है. Uski pure, there's nothing internally flawed, about his nature or himself, like, I mean, he's like the purest person I have in the house right now. कोई mistakes नहीं किए हो, कोई झूठ नहीं बोला हो, कोई, I mean, there's never that competition on, it's just like, so when I'm in his company, आपने पूछा था पहले मुझसे आप क्या enjoy करती हो, I actually will find time pockets in my day where I will call out for Shahir, come and sit with Mama. Oh. Because his vibe and his purity is what keeps me, मुझे humbleize करता है.
It got me a little teary-eyed that you said that he is the purest form. No lies, no sins. He's just him.
He's
one way ticket to Jannah. I mean, think about that. To live a flawless life. And, there are things that we as a society see it different. But we also, I mean, I'm not going to lie, are big liars.
We manipulate people, we manipulate, things around us.
I mean, this is how we talk to kids, if you don't eat your food, there will be a boogeyman. And we make
kala kutta kaat lega.
all kind of stuff with our kids, and just the fact that you don't have to do any of it. Just the fact that he's there and you just have to nurture his nature. How beautiful is that thought?
Right. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Now with all of this, of course, when we're talking about living every single day, what are some of the challenges, or at least one challenge that you face every single day that's repetitive, but now is pretty much part of your daily regimen, routine, or however that goes?
He's a little unpredictable.
Right.
So, always having, when I'm stepping out the house, a norm for me is, always having things that, जैसे जब बच्चा छोटा होता है तो आपके पास एक diaper bag होता है with, knickknacks and stuff that's going to help him regulate outside in the environment. So I always have to, still carry something with me, it could be his juice, it could be his crackers, always have a plan B because he has a pattern, किसी के घर जाना है, so the first thing he wants is something to eat because food is comforting.
Right.
It's a new environment, so, things like that. I mean, पहले मैं इतनी ज़्यादा नहीं address करती थी इसको. मुझे होता था कि नहीं, because I wasn't taking it for my other son.
Right.
So, and my other son is probably thinking, oh, Mama is always giving him, snacks and stuff.
Right.
So, but you learn, you learn that it's better, for me to tend to him first. In order, if I need that pocket of enjoyment, with my friends, I need to first tackle his need first, and then I have that 20 minutes to sit with my friends, before he goes into something else.
So now we have discussed your everyday challenge. We have gotten to know a little bit of background and how he makes your life a little bit more enjoyable. Being a mom to someone who requires a little bit more attention, also along with another child, and household, and having all those responsibilities that you already do,
Right.
That each one of us, the hats we are all wearing, being a mom, being a cook, being a chauffeur, and going on with all that you do around the community, alhamdulillah, mashallah. Tell me how you manage to take a little bit time out for yourself, and what are the activities you get involved in?
Well, I would say, mashallah, my husband is very supportive. So, and he understands that I need the pocket time, sometimes alone time for myself. So I will go to get a massage done, or hang out with a friend. Anything that can not make me feel so burned out, with my day.
Allah, number one, does not burden the soul more than it can bear. And second, that those who are special are given as special children. It's not so much the burden, but so much the realization that you are capable of this. You can handle someone that Allah has designed just specifically for you.
Right.
So, having said that, tell me, how has He made you a better person spiritually when it comes to spirituality, religion, being internally peaceful?
Knowing that bhai, Allah tawakkul, he is a creation of Allah, and it actually it humbleizes you. I mean, I can just think of the word humble, that it just humbleizes you, that आपको अपना कल नहीं पता, आपको अपना आज नहीं पता, but like आप अपने बच्चों की सालिहीन, आप उसके लिए दुआ करते हैं, आप
That's what I mean.
हाँ, आप अपने बच्चों के लिए दुआ करते हैं, और मैं भी इसी तरह मैं भी दुआ करती हूँ शहीर के लिए, और शहीर के साथ हम सबकी लाइफ अफेक्टेड हैं, तो हम अपने लिए, अपनी स्ट्रेंथ के लिए, इंड्योरेंस के लिए दुआ करते हैं कि भाई अल्लाह ताला हमें शहीर के ऊपर सलामत रखे, और जिस तरह हमें चलता फिरता रखे कि हम ना मोहताज पड़ जाएं. तो all of these things has helped me grow.
And earlier you mentioned your husband is part of your support system. He lets you get little snippets of your day where you can go and enjoy and hang out with your friends, and
it's vice versa too. I let him get away too.
But
with his friends.
We're talking about motherhood, and especially for moms who are, we're the caretaker first and foremost, because men are always busy in the outside world, and then we are the better nurturer. I mean, that's where the credit goes, We are the nurturers. We can make everything better.
That's why the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, like जब उनसे पूछा गया था तो उन्होंने यही कहा था ना कि भाई उम्मीयुन उम्मीयुन उम्मीयुन. So 3 times we have more of a overtake, over the kids, over like nurturing them.
Absolutely. So when we speak about the support system, tell me, of course, alhamdulillah, your husband is there, but who else is part of your support system that you can count and rely on?
Well, having Ahmed there, he's a sibling. He, mashallah, from a very young age has always been, has seen the struggles within the family, has, evolved with Shahir. Jab chota tha, to I used to take him for sibling workshops, which I would recommend everybody to go take. Those are very much needed for the atypical child to understand, what it is like for a child that is challenged at the younger age, because younger age पे आपके इतने needs intrinsic से नहीं होते हैं कि भाई आप जो है यूं दूसरों के बारे में नहीं सोचेंगे.
Right.
So having those workshops was benefiting, because it would give Ahmed a place where he could voice up his concerns or his feelings, like if like he would share with the therapist over there, if Shahir he felt was taking more of mommy's time. And because Shahir would have his speech therapist, an occupational therapist, my gym appointments, it was always a constant thing. Ahmed would sometimes suffer because he had to either accompany me. Mahmoud was at work, so he had to accompany me, and so he would miss out on his shows, or he would miss out on his play dates and stuff like that. And we have the grandmother, Shahir's Dadi. She's been very helpful as well. Whenever we need those moments, जब हमें निकलना पड़ जाता है और कोई emergency हो जाती है, तो we know we can ask her. But whenever I ask her, I always make sure that I have my older son there with her, and I don't leave them. I mean, I don't leave Shahir just on Dadi, because Dadi is also elderly, and there's so much Dadi can do, Dusra hai, I have friends, mashallah, I've been blessed with friends, so there have been moments when we have had to, like this, rely on people, and we understand, ke hum, I think you're one of them, right?
Yes,
I
and
left
it was a pleasure.
a big list, of things I chalked down, because I know, I'm giving you a child that has needs.
Some of the questions that I got was, I need to, from moms especially, that I need to take care of something, but I'm unable to trust someone with my child. So what are some of the things that you look for in people when you are picking? Of course, family is first, but when you are picking anyone otherwise that you can count on,
right,
to take care of your child?
First of all, it's the maturity of the person. जब Shahir छोटा था and I needed babysitting, because both of them were C-sections, and I had my own ailments and things happening, but I used to interview people, and I used to say, all right, like, this is going to be an interview. I need you to play 2 hours or an hour, and I would see कि क्या temperament match कर रहा है,
Right.
how my child is acting, or how that person is reacting, And they would sometimes, some of this people like, oh, your child is doing this. Well, you're there, you're the adult right now. That's what I'm trying to test, right? I mean, how you're going to react in that environment. But I mean, things that I would look in a person is that, how reliable they are, maturity क्या है, वो आया ले सकते हैं या नहीं ले सकते हैं, या जिस तरह आपका you can tell by the few meetups that you have with people, some people will cringe, naturally, and there's no blame to that because it's something completely different, to them. And then there are people that are जो बहुत warmly मिलते हैं बच्चे से, हाय कैसे हो, उसको हाथ कर, शहीर कैसे हो, शहीर किधर है, so stuff like that. आप ये देखते हो कि कौन कितना comfort लेकर आ रहा है खुद से. Kids that are on the spectrum, they might not talk, or they might not communicate with you, but they receptively they can hear you and they can feel your emotions. So he can feel vibes.
Element.
Yeah, so he can feel the vibes. If it's a negative vibe, he will try, to come. Actually, if it's a negative vibe, वो बाज़ दफ़ा बहुत close आने की कोशिश करता है because he wants to calm you down, or he wants to engage with you. The sense of engagement is always with him. He wants, he wants kids to engage. He wants to engage with kids, but just the modality of doing it, वो उसके पास missing है.
Of course.
It's fine, yeah.
It's fine. Now we're talking about personality trait. Mashallah, say you said he's engaging, you said he's comforting too. He senses that there is something wrong, and he will be the one moving forward to comfort someone. How amazing is that for him to have that, mashallah. Now we're talking about personality and skills of his, and I know everyone has super amazing talents, and special kids are a little bit, from what I have experienced and seen, a little bit more sensible or have a bright talent. So number one, share a little bit about this, and how are you helping your child discover his talents?
Well, Shahir has a little bit of a photogenic memory, so he does remember stuff pretty well, which is actually, it's a blessing because that helps with him not getting so regressed. I noticed कि उसको painting बहुत पसंद है, तो he has access to paint brushes and paints and stuff, and we'll sit down and sometimes we try to paint stuff, and baking is one thing because he's very food driven, like his mom. Abilities are he's, like I said, he has a photogenic memory, तो उसको चीज़ें याद रह जाती हैं. Oftentimes मैं भूल जाती हूँ, और मैंने उससे छिपाई होती हैं कुछ चीज़ें घर में, तो मैं भूल जाती हूँ मैंने कहाँ रखी हैं.
There you go.
So if I ask Shahir, where's mama's cream? वो निकाल के ले आता है.
That's awesome. जिससे छिपाई उसी को याद रह जाता है.
और वो स्कूल में होता है, मुझे ये समझ ही नहीं आता कि उसको पता कैसे चलता है कि मैंने छिपाई है.
He just remembers your patterns. That's what
I
it
think
is.
so. मुझे भी यही लगता है. तो मैं समझती थी मैं शहीर की अम्मा हूँ, लेकिन मुझे लगता है वो मेरा अब्बा बन गया.
That's awesome. No, mashallah, it's really good to hear that there is so much joy, alhamdulillah, and so many things that you're helping him discover, and he's showing you how brilliantly smart he is. He's such a bright child, mashallah.
अब जाके मुझे feel होता है कि yeah, now I see him as a child that can manage or can functionally work in his environment. So वो एक necessary, that's the main goal, that's the core goal that we're going towards, right? We want him as independent as possible. Like school mein they was asking me, do you want Shahir to work outside? Yes, I want Shahir to work outside. You always want to step up the game for your child because you don't want something too watered down, because that's not going to help him, and that's going to end up making me an enabler. कि मैं उसके लिए चीज़ें करके दे रही हूँ. तो I want, नहीं, I want him to be able to do his own stuff.
When we speak of the future and knowing his progress, how far, alhamdulillah, mashallah, he has come around, tell me, what are your specific fears for the future, and how you are content in knowing that his progress will exceed, inshallah, he will be successful and he will make it.
Well, so currently he's in an SLC program in the high school, which is restrictive, but he has a lot of services under that. And so the program that he's in actually teaches him is actually aligned with the Texas workforce. So they taking this opportunity, the 9th grade से 12th grade का जो education plan है उसका, it's all about coping in the outside world. So in their school they have an apartment style setting, you know.
Okay.
So they have kitchen skills, they have sorting skills, they have vacuuming, they have, you know, and they have like a shop, you know, they have made a little shop over there, you know, where they give them the money and they're using the money towards buying stuff for themselves and teaching them how to, you know, get a shopping list like a visual aid, you know, and then work your way around. So, you know, things like that. It actually, it makes me happy because I know this is what's going to help him जब वो बड़ा हो जाएगा. And I know this much, that if you give Shahir responsibility, he completely goes with his work. Future पे जो है ना, बस अब यही हमारा मकसद है कि भाई Shahir as functional as he can get, and then, you know, he knows his subtraction and he's working on those goals now. And academics से ज़्यादा, you know, focus उसके functional skills पे होते हैं. तो you know,
and he's learning life skills. So that's
and he's learning
most
life
important,
skills, yeah.
Where he really won't need you.
Yeah.
That's going to be a sensitive moment.
Now, the nice things that are coming up with the e-learning is that he knows how to fold stuff. So
good.
I'm like, oh, my laundry helper, God gifted.
So when we talk about your 360
Yeah.
and all the responsibilities that, especially during this time of isolation and quarantine, you're having to experience, one of the other things that you mentioned was you're a wife.
Yes.
And of course, having a special child probably means you need a special accommodation when it comes to relationship as well. Now, you know, the lady I spoke of earlier, that was one of the concerns too. And this is a new horizon for her, right? So relationship is being impacted. If you can share a little bit about that, how both of you managed to pass that, become each other's support, accommodate each other, and now you will work as a team.
Well, what worked was like the early intervention was the trainings in the beginning. So the school offers you, you know, parent trainings. You should take them. Apart from that, what helped was that friend of mine that I told you about in New Jersey.
Right.
So that couple lived near our house. So we used to both sign up, like मैं और सादिया जो थे, उसका नाम सादिया था. So we used to like sign up for courses, you know, we used to take, and then that didn't stop there. We used to sign our husbands for courses as well.
Get them on board.
So, get them on board. Yes, you know, like, I mean, she was a working mom as well, IT में, and so उसका husband भी IT में थे, and basically, you know, having a partner, like, you know, that could relate, like her husband, for instance, you know, that Mahmoud could relate with, and, you know, have children that, you know, I mean, the most benefiting is that you need to find a support group. You need to have a support group जिसके अंदर आप as a couple जाए, or it actually makes you feel that you're in an elite circle of, you know, people, because they're all going through the same situations or similar situations, you know, and then having a kind of a guideline, you know, okay, you know, if this happens in this situation, this is what our game plan is going to be. If this is going to happen, this is going to be our game plan. So you have to have that communication, you know, with your husband. I also have people that come up with me and just tell me, you know, but मेरा husband help ही नहीं करता. मेरा husband doesn't care about it. My husband, you know. So, well, that's the thing. Step up, you know, talk to your husband, understand it, that you both are doing this for the benefit of your child. The goal is, over here is कि हमें अपने बच्चे को benefit करना है. हर couple के अंदर भी different attributes होते हैं, you know. एक couple जो है वो बहुत patient होता है, दूसरा जो है वो बहुत impulsive होता है. So, you know, when you understand the dynamics of your family, it's very easy for you to kind of like help each other, you know, and support each other, and understand that, okay, you know, there are times हमारी family is not an atypical family.
Right.
You know, like I said, you know, just हमारा बच्चा special needs है तो हम भी special needs हैं.
Recognizing
that, you know, and understanding that ठीक है, you know, other families could probably be at some place, you know, maybe 4 or 5 hours. Our family could only do it for 2 hours, all right? And if one of us wants to stay more, then the other will have to take the child, you know, because it's not fair for our child actually.
Right, of
The understanding is not कि हम उसको बचा रहे हैं या हम उसको, बाज़ लोग मुझसे कहते हैं ओ लेकिन तुम उसको लेकर निकलोगी तो उसको पता होगा. ये बात नहीं है कि वो हमें पता है कि हमारा बच्चा जो है वो कितनी देर सर्वाइव करेगा. एंड my goal is not to I don't want to add to his anxiety. I want to take away from his anxiety. Understand that जिस तरह आपका बच्चा जो atypical है can go to the masjid, वैसे ही एक जो है ना स्पेशल नीड बच्चे का भी राइट है मस्जिद पे. तो ये जो और मैं इसे शेयर करना चाहूँगी कि जैसे I was in New Jersey and जब मैं शुरू में शहीर को मस्जिद लेके जाती थी तो कुछ हो रहा तो फिर शहीर अगर थोड़ा शोर भी करता सारी आंटियाँ पीछे यूं करके देखती थी. एंड एक्चुअली really felt like there were like 10,000 bricks, you know, coming your way and you feel like कहीं कहीं कॉर्नर कोई खुल जाए जहाँ मैं चले जाऊँ, you know, अपने बच्चे को लेके. So one particular day it happened a lot more that particular day and I actually had just finished the Jummah khutbah and I wanted to stay back for the Jummah prayer. And Mahmoud was in the men's section with Ahmed and I had Shahir with me. And तो अब वो ना यही हुआ कि वो शहीर ने थोड़ा शोर किया, सारे उन्होंने मुझे देखना शुरू कर दिया. तो I felt like I had to leave, you know, like मैं उनकी नमाज़ें ख़राब, किसी ने कहा भी कि बच्चा शोर करेगा हमारी नमाज़ ख़राब हो जाएगी. तो ओके मैंने फिर बच्चे को अपने इकट्ठा किया और मैं नीचे की तरफ जाने ही वाली थी कि एक अरबी औरत थी. And she usually was the in charge of that masjid. And she stood up and she said, "Where are you going, sister?" And I looked at her and I actually had tears in my eyes. And I said, actually he's making a lot of noise and I feel I have to go. And she goes, no, you're not going anywhere. Sit down. And she took Shahir's hand and, you know, उसने मुझे बिठाया. And I started crying, you know, कहने लगी, no. These people have to understand that you have as much of a right at this masjid as, you know, they're having. And if they're worried that their namaz is not, you know, kharab ho rahi hai, so they need to focus and they have to, this is their internal problem, not your problem.
And she was so right.
And, you know, just that level of strength, you know, that you just felt, you know, like किसी ने आपको कोई आपके लिए खड़ा हो रहा है या कोई आपके behalf खड़ा हो रहा है.
Really, it is my pleasure to know the Attiyah that I do.
Thank you.
She's full of radiation, vibration, not the scary one, but the one that brightens up your day.
You haven't seen me off hours, but that's fine.
When she walks in her room, you can feel that, okay, this is somebody whose confidence I truly admire. MashaAllah. You know, confidence is one thing that not many people can wear it well, and she wears it phenomenal.
Oh my gosh, मैं ज़्यादा तारीफ़ें नहीं सुन सकती अपनी.
Alhamdulillah. So this is a very good example that you shared with us, especially about Masjid. Alhamdulillah, I'm really happy that things are evolving, things are changing, there are programs. But tell me this, like in this example, both kind of people were shown. Those that were becoming a challenge for you and the one that became an ease for you. So of course, there are others as well who see a mom with a special needs child. They want to be accommodating, they want to be offering help, but they don't know how to approach without offending them or sounding condescending or however that goes. So one tip that you can give to the person who wants to open the heart and just offer help or reach out in a positive way and don't know how to.
Don't shy away. If you want to help, come forward. Say, oh well, you know, like I noticed, you know, you're having a hard time. If you've noticed having, you know, if you've had that kind of involvement.
So speaking of all of that you have shared with us, the things that you have heard that were negative, and you mentioned that you wish sometimes you would say something, but instead you chose to, especially in the example you shared of the masjid, you chose to walk away rather than say something. So tell me, if you could just say one thing.
मस्जिद की आंटियों को आप कुछ कह सकते हैं?
मुझे लगता है जितने देसी ड्रामे हमारी जनरेशन
उनकी आईज इतनी होती हैं कि वो लगता है आप गिर जाएंगे अंदर.
Yeah, where most of us are traumatized by the aunties. That's the reason. Yeah. That's the reason we need therapy.
Exactly.
But you know, obviously we can't say a lot. Sometimes we do choose to bite our tongue, and I'm sure you have had that experience too, where you had to make a conscious decision to bite your tongue. So if you could say one thing that you never could just say it and you have to hold yourself back from saying it, what would that one thing be? Just say it out loud.
Something would be like, so if I know that my child has had some kind of an anxious meltdown or something, and I feel that people around me, sometimes they will ridicule, and so my turn back thing is like, okay, well, Shahir has autism. What is your excuse?
All to their own. That's how
exactly.
the saying goes. All right, so mashallah, number one, it's really admirable that how positive you have remained throughout these 15 years. You were given someone special and you took care of him in the most special way you could. Alhamdulillah. And of course, to remain positive and keep evolving with the challenges, keep growing and learning, it does not come easy. There are times when you feel overwhelmed and everything else, but the fact that you are, every time I see you, you are happy-go-lucky person, always eager to help someone else, always smiling. I have seen her smile more than most people, alhamdulillah. So, and I hope she keeps smiling that bright all the time. What is one thing that keeps you grounded? We know you have shared Shahir is one of the reasons, but what makes you positive and keep that positive head over your shoulders?
भाई मैं तो अल्लाह ताला से बस दुआ ही करती हूँ कि मेरे पास क्या कहते हैं internal sukoon, I mean just knowing that that I've been chosen to help Shahir. Take that pressure off yourself, and then you feel like कि आप live कर सकते हो in those moments.
Exactly, and that's a very good point. And that brings me to my second to the last question. Like
really?
I mentioned, yes. almost there. I'll let you get off the hook. But this is very important. Because you are experiencing everything firsthand, you have gone through it, 15 years of constant evolvement with your child. In this situation I've mentioned, there are those that are just beginning their journey. And there are those who are in a very similar situation, like your friend you have mentioned who guided you through it. Now, I need you to give these special parents a message that brings ease to them and conveys a promise. What would your message be?
The promise is that keep hoping. Keep hoping for the betterment and the beneficialness of your child, for his programs. Keep hoping the best for your child, basically, and don't feel intimidated by societal pressures. Don't feel intimidated that you need to act a certain way or your child needs to act a certain way. Open circles of communication, like talk to people. You're feeling down, talk to a person. If you're feeling like you're not, because of course there are challenges and there are times when we had our grief and our dips as well, where we thought we couldn't move forward. But I had a therapist that used to work with Shahir, so I would take out, I would pay her for a 10-minute session at the end of her sessions. So mommy had a session as well, so and she taught me a lot of stuff. So basically, you need to really communicate how you're feeling, and you should let people around you know if you feel that you're being snubbed at, or you feel like your child is being snubbed at, or you feel like you want more from the family, more engagement from the family, because that is still something we are facing up till now. So although I have Ahmed, mashallah, but with his cousins, Shahir ka wo wala level of interaction nahi hai, because it's harder for them to maybe relate to Shahir, or although Shahir wants to engage, वो चाहता है कि वो बात करे या लोग उसके पास आके बैठें, but people भी डर जाते हैं, लोग भी डर जाते हैं, अगर वो ज़्यादा थोड़ा शोर कर ले, so stuff like that. But yeah, for the newbie parents, it's like read up, don't leave any stone unturned, keep working, keep looking for ways, or there is no right way of parenting. So alhamdulillah, I'm thankful to Allah that Shahir cannot talk, और उसको apraxia है, और उसको expressive delays हैं, and उसको autism है उसके, but at the same time he teaches me कि persevere, keep going forward. Repetition से आप polished होते हैं और आप better ही बनते हैं. तो you know, like, I mean, आप अपने आप को अपना, another thing that I can tell is that, you know, change the way you're listening to your child. You need to change, you need to find a way to better listen to your child if he's not talking. I know there are people on autism as well on the spectrum that talk endlessly, and then you're trying to, you know, have parents saying, how do I get him to be quiet, you know? He just goes on and on and on.
Right.
And so that's a challenge as well, you know. So, but choose a different pattern, you know, inshallah.
All the special parents the best. Know that, you know, like we discussed earlier, know that you're in this position because no one else can do it better than you.
Exactly.
And Attiyah Khan, I will request one last message from you for each and every person listening to us. Please share.
Well, one message is that please keep me in your duas. बहुत important point मैं share करना चाह रही थी वो ये कि be encouraging with your kids. अपने kids को teach करें कि they need to be accepting of people that are different to them. और उनको awareness दें कि भाई अल्लाह ताला ने देखो किसी और को इस तरह बनाया है तो उसके पास जाओ, उस बच्चे के पास. ये नहीं कि उसको बेटा उसके साथ नहीं खेलना, वो पता नहीं तुम्हें धक्का नहीं देते, ओ बेटा उसके पास नहीं जाना, वो पता नहीं ये ना करते. You know, we have to step out of this mentality. शहीर के स्कूल के अंदर there are programs called peer buddy programs. It just amazes me that 90% of the time सारे गोरे बच्चे होते हैं, देसी बच्चे मिलते ही नहीं उन programs में. And one of the reason is because हमारे देसी community is constantly इस चीज़ में तो बहुत ज़ोर कर रहा है कि बच्चे को डॉक्टर बनना है, इंजीनियर बनना है, ये करना है. But when it comes to empathy, compassion, ये और इसकी growth, इसमें हमारी community बहुत lack करती है.
Point actually to engage our children in such a way that we grow them in empathy. Sympathy alone is not all that we can do. Empathize with another person and be the first one to offer help if you see someone who's needing it.
And mashallah, you know, I have friends जिनके बच्चे जो है वो आते भी हैं और शहीर से बात भी करते हैं और they will keep a lookout for Shahir, you know, and they'll let me know as well कि oh auntie, you know, I think Shahir needs this thing, or you know, तो mashallah, you know, it helps those things, and they actually bring me comfort, you know, knowing that apart from my eyes, you know, there are other people in the community, because as they say, it takes a village to raise a child. Especially in the special needs population, we need the support of the community. We need the community to open up ways जहाँ पे वो हमें inclusiveness हमें मिले और हमारे बच्चों को मिले.
And inshallah, I pray that we as a community can grow to include everyone in a sense. Really do become a village that is inclusive. Inshallah. Inshallah. Thank you so much, Attiyah, for sharing such an intimate part of your life with us, to teach and educate everyone else who is listening to us, whether special or not. We all got a lot to hear from you.
Thank you for honoring me, you know, like I mean, like I said, you know, just having somebody, you know, share that interest, you know, like in getting to know you and your child means a lot.
Do not forget to subscribe to Pondering Thoughts with Nida Jawed, where you can keep up with my thoughts and thoughts of my guests throughout this Shero series. You don't want to miss anything and all the new heroes that we have coming up. The whole purpose of this is to bring forth the Sheros, the people who are among us, dealt with calamities with such profound strength and did not fall victim to their weakness. So subscribe. Let's go through these stories together. It's my pleasure to be sharing all these wonderful ladies and their stories with you.